So I had a quick question for you too. Like, typing out a text message right now, but like, how do you spell butt cheeks? Is it one word, or do I have to spread them apart?
According to I was about to Webster Dictionary. According to the Webster Dictionary, it's actually one word, the plural of butt cheek. Yep. Okay. Welcome.
Your mic is really hot.
You're really hot. Welcome to the second episode of the RaptorStrike Podcast. What is going on, everybody? I am Joey, aka Joey Schmoey, 1/3 of the RaptorStrike Podcast. Also, the lead kazoo player in our boy band. To my right, we have
the lead vocalist.
Oh yes, the one that sounds like cat teeth on a cardboard or something like that.
Cat claws on a...
Tomatoes.
And I play the bongos.
Yeah,
he
used to be our electric triangle player.
I have upgraded.
He doesn't want to say it, but he sustained an injury from it, and he's traumatized. So we're going on to the bongos. Hopefully he doesn't change it up next week. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Can we throw chat up on the screen, por favor?
That's something you forgot to put up.
It's right there.
Thank you. I'm blind. It's too dark in here. I'm sorry. As you can see, it's not too dark in here anymore.
Yeah,
maybe.
You can actually see us now.
Yo. Oh, dang. I was about to say something.
Yep.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to just, Dragon Ball Z is my favorite anime. Okay. And I think all the characters, even the human characters, they have the strongest attacks. My favorite is the Destructo disc. But we'll get back to anime later. But how's everybody doing tonight? We are going to start it off with the first question. One question that we've been getting a lot this week. Noah, do you want to kick it off?
The main question is, where did we get the name RaptorStrike? And unfortunately, I can't give a significant answer of what it means or what is it supposed to mean. It's just two words that I thought sounded really good together back in 2015, which is when I started the idea. I was in school, but started the idea, and of course it didn't become a thing until 2020. But it was way before the Raptor. A lot of people think that it has to do with the Ford Raptor that we have, and it's not. I just really liked the Raptors when they came out. I like the word Raptor is really what it is. My name or nickname, I guess, Raptor Man. The funny story behind that is we actually had nicknames from Full Metal Jacket, which if anyone knows what that movie is, it's a Vietnam era movie, or the guys go to boot camp and everybody gets a nickname because they're privates in the army, or the Marines, excuse me. And one of the guys' names was what we thought was Raptor Man, but when we watched it again, we watched it with the subtitles, it's Rafter Man. So my name was completely wrong from the beginning. It just became original, and I've kept it. The 5.0 at the end of my name, I never had a 5.0 engine until maybe 2019, and that was in the 2012 F-150 that he has. Actually, before that, I had the pushrod 5.0 from an 87 Mustang, which if y'all would like to see that, we can make that one of the showcases that we have in the studio, because I don't have it in a car still. A very expensive paperweight that I have in our garage.
Yeah, that's you pulled that engine out and
completely rebuilt it. Down to the block, took it to the machine shop, and they cleaned it. They bored it, No, it's not
they
a bore.
honed it.
Honed it. There we go.
Honed.
Because I didn't do any bigger pistons or anything. It was just a stock factory
I mean,
rebuild.
to
really.
be fair, you could still see the cross hatching on the block when it came out of the engine.
Yes. So it was still perfectly fine. It's just I'm hard headed.
That was a really clean engine coming out of the Mustang.
Yes. Which was a gift from a mentor of mine.
Yeah.
So a lot of gifts on the channel.
Speaking of gifts, Sal and I were gifted these new shirts.
Hey.
Look at them.
All three of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
By a great mentor and a big supporter of the group. Actually, there's 4 shirts in existence, and one of them was at Texas A&M in College Station today.
It was.
He was repping us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And just for him.
The Destructo disc.
The Destructo disc. Gio, you're late. I'm sorry. The door's closed at 9:00.
Sir, please go up to the front and get a tardy slip.
That was a good one. I like that one. But yes, these shirts are amazing. I like these shirts.
Yeah,
I
they're
like the
comfy.
design.
Thank you.
It was good. But yeah, we'll jump into our first question.
First topic.
Ford Mustang Raptor. Y'all think it's gonna happen?
I wish it would happen.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool, but
The market for it's very small.
yes. Like the market for the F-150 Raptor is already pretty small, but Mustang Raptor, I would buy it. I would trade in my Mustang and buy one, but that just depends on price too.
So, do y'all think the possibility of the Mustang Raptor, right? And I don't know if y'all thought about this as well, but now that the Mach-E is basically a 4-door, right?
Yes.
Could it be an off-road Mach-E?
Now,
Because Raptor is off-road.
the thing I have an issue with is it will have the Raptor name, but it will not be able to do the same things that a Raptor can. Because then you're messing.
lightning.
Now you're messing with like ground clearance. I mean the Mustang will be way too high to even have enough ground clearance to do the jumps that the Raptor does. Because I mean you have like the bowed fenders and
Yeah, at that point it'd be more like a rally car
yeah.
where
So-
you're not looking to do jumps, but at the same time it is very much capable of it.
Correct. But then that goes again. You're not going to have very many rally events that you can go to that's accessible. I mean, there's the off-road events that we talked about last episode, which are still, far and few between, but they're there. And you won't have that many opportunities to really show off like a rally aspect car.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's a really niche product, but even then, like Ford has already said no. But they may be bringing out another supercar.
So how do y'all feel? Like, what do y'all think that could be? Do you think they're going to do a new vehicle or like bring back an old name?
I personally think they're just going to bring another Ford GT, like a new.
Like a new body style?
Well, yeah, like a new version of the Ford GT. The last one came out in 2016?
I think 2018.
Something along those lines. Diluting the Raptor brand. I would say no.
Yes and no. I mean, I see what he's talking about. Or basically, like I just said, you have the Raptor name of what it can do and what everybody already knows it can do.
Yeah.
But now this one has the name but can't really do the same exact thing. Like it has its limitations.
I mean, it'd be more of a rally car. It'd be more like a Cosworth type deal where.
I forgot about the Cosworth, but that was a rally. That was a built rally vehicle.
Well,
right?
Cosworth is
a separate
British
entity.
engine builder. Basically, they build engines for rally cars. They build engines for like F1 cars and Indy cars. But it's crazy. But like
they use the Ford Escort, right?
Yeah, they use the Escort a lot. But the Ford Ford's history with Cosworth is pretty big. Because like a lot of the engines they build are Ford engines, and I like Joey's over here trying to reposition.
Why do y'all point it out? They didn't notice.
That's not what I noticed. I noticed something in the chat was how much was the wrap? Why are you trying to? Why are you trying to get me in trouble, man? Like that's You're asking some like pretty.
Revive the Thunderbird.
That's what I'm saying. Revive the Thunderbird, make it into a chat. And by the way, it was beep. That's how much the rap was.
It was approximately beep dollars.
Well, I can give a range.
It was from $0 to $10,000.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't that much. It could have been that much.
Could have been 0.
It,
I said a range. You said what you said.
I don't have any other sounds that I want to use. It makes me mad.
No.
Put in the chat. We should get a soundboard.
We need a soundboard.
I want to be out there ready to Joey Schmoey.
That's me.
Hey.
Who's that?
Schmoey Joey.
Trisha. Hello. Hi, friend.
No Roush for Mach.
No Roush for Maki, so make it a Raptor with a 3-inch lift.
Are we talking 3-inch lift from the factory Mustang height? Because that's still not very high.
Yeah. It'd have to be like... It's really the IRS.
He's in disguise. It's really the IRS.
Okay. I think we lost track of where we were.
Yes. So 3 inches from the factory height of the Mustang would be the
6 inches total.
Yeah.
Mean, because it's
you'd have to do a really tall lift on a Mustang.
what we learned, because Sal and I both had S550 Mustangs.
Yes.
What we learned is when all of the aftermarket parts that say, oh, it's an 1.5 inch drop, it's an 1.5 inch drop from the performance spec.
So let's talk about that, because that is interesting.
It's 3 inches when you sit in it.
Your car...
Yeah, I mean, Sal and Joey
sorry.
pulled up in Gwyn one time, and I was like, I don't remember dropping it that low, and then they got out and it lifted out. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
So you're saying- I'm sorry.
the like your car was a non-performance pack car, right? Mine is a performance pack. Most of the companies, when they buy a development vehicle, they'll buy like the top end model.
Yeah.
Because okay, well, this has all the possible options, all the little like knickknacks that you can put on with electronics. But the thing is, there's a difference between the performance pack and a non-performance pack as far as suspension goes, and the difference is about 1 inch.
Yes.
So in this case, like 1.5 inch drop on my Mustang would have been like 2 inches of drop on yours.
It was. Yes.
Yeah.
Because when I dropped my Mustang, we measured his height off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it. You're already smiling. And then we measured Gwen
my turn.
from the ground, and when we actually did the drop, mine was 1.5 inches lower than his. I'm thinking it was going to be the same height.
Yeah.
So it dropped us like 2.5 inches actually.
So what you're saying is 1.5 inches is pretty significant. When it comes
Huge.
When
Makes
it
big
comes
difference.
huge. When it comes to
It's way above
an
average.
1.5 inches versus 2.5 inches, that's a huge difference. It wouldn't in the Mustang. Y'all are weird.
Whatever.
In the Mustang, but
You know what you were implying.
no, I wasn't.
Whatever.
No, I wasn't.
Go away. Go away. Anyways, getting a lift kit to be capable as a Ford F-150 Raptor on a Mustang, and while still having all the travel, would make the Mustang like 1.5 foot wider, and also be like, I'm gonna say probably we can't show it on the screen. It'd be like a solid foot off the ground, like.
It would be like what the width of that.
Yeah, about the width of the wheel, off the ground.
So actually, which brings us, we can probably change the subject from that, but
Yeah, we'll go to the next one.
this table, it's actually a table which was a stool, and it was created into a table by my parents years ago. We're talking maybe 10 years ago. But the rim is actually from one of my dad's first trucks, which is a 99 F-150.
The red one?
The red one. I don't have any pictures of it, unfortunately. So, but really cool little one-of-a-kind deal that we have here. And on top of that, kind of segueing our way into Mustangs. And, well, we both had EcoBoost Mustangs, and now...
I had an EcoBoost Mustang Hot Wheel.
There you go.
Yep.
That's a
So
start.
I count.
It's a start.
I just want to be included.
Yeah. It's okay.
I'm just happy to be here, guys.
But within that, kind of brings us into today's sponsor for this video, which is our second episode, CV Fabrication. Up here on the table, we actually have the hot and cold charge pipes. We have the cold on this side. No, that's the hot. That's the cold, and the intercooler.
Cold.
Okay, Katy Perry.
Yes, then you're no.
And
You're in, then you're out.
and the
You're up, then you're down.
and their intercooler for a 2020 Ford Ranger. So thank you to my brother who actually purchased these. These are for his truck, which hopefully next week we'll be able to send out or post a video of like the installation and all of that cool stuff.
Something like
But
that.
thank you to CV Fabrication for their support on this video.
Yes, and if you go to our link tree, we have our promo code RaptorStrike, right?
Yep. Get you
For
5% off, I think.
5%.
RaptorStrike.net.
There it is. And
You guys can visit our link tree on RaptorStrike.net. It reroutes to our link tree, and
which brings you to our link for CV Fabrication, and we have our own promo code for 5% off your purchase.
use code RaptorStrike at
Yes.
checkout.
So, which one is it? There we go.
Thank you. Again, live
Thank you,
studio
everyone.
audience.
Thank you.
Right there. Thank you. I love you.
Cut them off too quickly. Okay. Where does that segue to us?
Next topic.
Next topic. Okay, so this next topic is gonna be, I wouldn't say too controversial.
Build a drag car
But-
next for some content.
That would be cool. I want to do a drag car Chevy Vega. But
Now,
that can be talked about later.
so one thing that we have, or let's answer some of these questions. I think
cool.
I see in the chat. One of the builds that we have, and I'd like to start digging into,
Thank you, Gio.
is a '99 Crown Vic. It's one of
ones was it?
my all-time. Ever since I was a kid, I had always wanted one. It was like my dream car. Everybody wanted Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and
You wanted a cop car.
I wanted a cop car.
You wanted to sit in the front of a cop car
Oh yes,
specifically.
yes.
And that's why we didn't get invited to parties. Oh,
yeah, that was the reason. Anyway, sure, okay.
It wasn't because we were losers.
We were.
I wasn't.
We were
losers.
We were nerds, and I wear that name very proudly.
Yeah.
But one of the things is I don't know whether I want to lean that towards like a performance build or put
I would make a drift car out of it.
a drift. Okay, that's
A drift bus. Come on.
The other side of that is
Drift
I
bus.
also had thrown around the idea of like also kind of anime wrapping that one, which you stand against, and you're on the fence.
Of
I
which one?
think one is enough.
Oh, are you talking about the rap?
Yeah.
No, I like it.
Not a complete wrap, but like enough to where it kind of looks like
Like,
a
you know
police
how-
car, but it doesn't.
You just changed the
Thought
colors.
Patrol.
I was thinking like Pokemon Patrol or something. Like,
So-
the only one I could think of is
That-
like Officer Jenny.
I think
If
that
anybody
would
in
be
the
so
chat
cool.
knows other anime police officers, I think that would be really funny to like look at my options. So, but the only one that I can really remember is Officer Jenny from Pokemon.
The
Yeah, if you can think of any anime cop cars, send them into Noah's Facebook Messenger.
the CO from Dead Man Wonderland. If you know, you know.
I think we wrap it with Sal's face. All right, bet.
That's what I've been saying for years. That's what I've been saying for years.
I don't know about that one. That one.
Come on, you don't want a car with my face on the side of it?
Listen, I already
so-
scared the ladies off.
So to answer on my part about the drag car, building a drag car, and y'all know about this. I said it on the first ever podcast back in 2020.
The sheriff.
Freaking justice.
no.
Yep,
No,
you almost got
I
it.
got
You almost
it.
got you.
Okay.
You almost got you.
I'm
You be quiet. A 2005 specifically, a Kia Spectre 5 silver, because it was the car that was the longest that we had for the longest time in my family. We had it from 2004 up until 2021. And I wanted to keep the car, and when I had money, turn it into a drag car. But unfortunately, we had to sell it. And you know what was messed up? I did some research, and those rims could affect my car. I could have kept the rims and put the
Steelies on that Kia.
on the Kia. I could have done that, and I tell my mom about it, and she was like, "Why didn't you tell me? I could have kept it for one more day." I was like, "I completely didn't even think about it." But yes,
you live and you learn. You live and you learn.
Yeah.
So that Kia, that would be crazy if one day I find it, but that Kia I want to turn into a drag car. Probably put what's the one we went to play
the Honda K series.
It was a K series. Put a K series. Basically, make a kind of. I'm not looking to win races.
It's basically going to be a Honda Civic, but with a Kia body.
He said, "I'm going to lose, but I'm going to look good doing it."
Yeah.
Going back to Justice's question of how much was the wrap. The wraps really depend on what you're looking for. If you're looking for just a solid color, it will be easier on you. Mm-hmm. Of course, I went kind of loud. I went quiet but loud, if that makes any sense, because I could have done like a mirroring or a color shift. But I went with like the forged carbon because I really liked the way it looked. Mm-hmm. It really matted down the color. It was supposed to be a different character or a different anime to start with. So it was supposed to be a very dark background with very bright and vibrant colors on it. But that idea, I had purchased everything for it, but the plans had kind of fallen through, and I switched gears and we did Fire Force, which is one of my all-time favorite animes. And that one's also very dark unless you add a lot of fire. Like a lot of fire background other than that. But the price really isn't... One, it depends on how big the vehicle is, how crazy you're wanting to go with it. But I'm going to say you're looking at between $4,000 to $6,000 for a wrap. And there's a lot of things that you have to understand about it. If you're able to park in a garage or in a closed space, that'll help it last longer.
Yeah.
But really, you don't want it on the vehicle for more than 2 years. You're really pushing it because, the heat here in Texas, and even worse if you're in Arizona. I know a couple of people out in Arizona. I mean, it just eats everything. Then it gets stuck to the paint, and then you got to be using a little
heat gun
rubber,
or eraser wheel.
Yeah, an eraser wheel, and it just becomes a giant pain in the butt. But, it just depends on what you want. And we have connections to a guy that does it here in San Antonio. So if you are looking for that, we can get you in touch with him. And
yeah.
I mean, he does a great job. He did the Raptor.
He did the roof of my car.
Yeah. Which is how you went to him first, and then years passed, and you're like, hey, that guy did the wrap on the roof. Why don't you get in touch with him?
Yeah.
And that's how it went. Wrap Cuts by Jaws is the company.
Yeah. Also on the topic of wraps, because that's one of the things that a lot of people seem to think they're a replacement for paint. Like if your paint's clapped, a lot of people seem to think that it'll help, and that is actually quite the opposite. If your paint is clapped, the
wrap will be clapped too.
Yeah, the wrap will look clapped. Yeah. So
at the minimum, sand it down and do a clear coat.
We'll sand it down and do a good like a sealer coat, because that'll be any imperfections in the paint will show. Like for example, my car has some hail damage, and it shows through the wrap. Like the silver kind of hit it, but whenever we put the black wrap on it, it showed pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, that and even black paint. The color black on a vehicle is one of the most hardest ones to do, because I call it mirror-like. It shows like a mirror, but when it's clean, when it's smooth, it is beautiful. I love it.
Yeah.
But the moment you get a ding in it, now it warps it warps that reflection, and you're always gonna see it. It can't. There's no way it can be hidden unless you throw like the overlays on my truck, where if you have like sponsors or you have just images,
if there's something there,
over it
if there's something there to take the eye away from the imperfections, then it'll look okay. But I without a good base to set the wrap on, the wrap will look like crap. Correct.
And that you could be a professional person that does a wrap, and you're a perfectionist. It's the same for paint. If the primer and all the prep wasn't done correctly, everything else on top is going to be total crap, just out the window.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's move on to another topic here. Why does the Mitsubishi Mirage exist?
I don't know who added that one, but
That was me.
okay.
Guy, just for reference, for some background, I absolutely hate the Mitsubishi Mirage.
Do you just not like the build quality, or do you not just like the car?
It is unsafe, to say like the least. It is. It literally does not meet safety standards anymore. It did when it was released, so it doesn't need to be retested. But they haven't. They just kept selling it. So
you're telling me that it at the time when they got released, it passed, and now
But
it's
barely.
just doing.
but barely. Like it had like a 5 stars at best, right? It had like a 1 star. But
Mr. Half a Star.
pretty much, it was like, okay, you passed, but like by 1 point. Joey, off your phone. But yeah, why does it exist anymore?
Horrible customer service.
Justice, stop texting me.
You're getting me in trouble, man.
Look at this dude. I'm not gonna show stream.
Uber Eats.
Ooh.
What?
Did you get Uber Eats?
Order me some too.
Look at the bottom.
Okay.
Look at the bottom.
I get it. Okay.
Look at the bottom.
I don't know why.
Okay. Go back. The Mirage.
Anyways, I hate the Mitsubishi Mirage. I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay.
Just some hate posting.
A little sidebar. If you're watching
Be quiet,
today and this is your first time viewing or visiting the channel, like, subscribe, look at some of our other videos. We have a lot of reels on there, and
No.
the amount of time. Show me. Let me see. No. No one really realizes the amount of time that it takes to make videos. Like, usually a lot of people from the outside looking in, it's like, oh, it's an easy job. You post a video, you film it, you post it. I didn't know how much stuff it actually takes.
Yeah. Between actually taking the time to film, then
Edit the film. And what I've been doing is like doing all the reels.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's just going and looking at templates and being like, oh, I have photos and videos that will fit this. Let me make it and post it. That's my airport pastime when I'm traveling a lot for work. I'll sit in the airport and make reels. I should be working, but I'm making reels.
Yes. So I want to talk about this one because I think it would be funny, right?
What?
But very controversial, and I want to preface this with: we support all builds and all that is not a builds, like lights, stuff like that. We support anybody trying to get into the car community, but if you are a jerk, we don't support that no matter what you drive. So I'm gonna say this question as if the person was a jerk. Why do people who drive clapped out Altimas drive like they can afford them?
Read it entirely.
Oh, why do people who drive clapped out Altimas drive like they can afford to fix them?
Why?
It's a lack of care. I think a lot of people that it's not okay. The clapped out Altima was very specific, but vehicles in general, the people that don't care, they weren't taught to care about it. Like,
Well, I mean, then you have me.
okay,
That I drive my vehicles like complete ass, but
well, you don't drive like an a-hole. You know what I mean? Like, you're not swerving in and out, no blinker. I'm talking about the
You're
people that
talking
just
about
have
just
no
reckless.
care in the world. Yeah.
I forgot you drove an Altima.
It's
That's-
not clap though.
No, yours looks nice.
It's new.
And I told you the Altima was too specific, and he was gonna bite us in the butt somewhere. And it happened.
Someone owns
Hey,
an
but he
Somebody
Altima.
agrees. He agrees though.
Yeah, but his is clean. The bumper's there.
Yeah, like
Come on.
you'll see these people in like a completely like no paint. Then you have the fixed one.
Don't you have to fix it, day one? What? Oh, he's saying like the moment you buy it, it breaks.
True.
Pretty
It's not a
much.
Chevy. What are you talking about?
Hey,
Like you saw those people with like mismatched
true.
bumpers and like no paint, and then they're just like,
Yeah, it's the lack of care, like in general about anything. I highly doubt that person is driving or is working a job that you have to care about. Like they're not building something, they're not securing something, they're not I don't know what they're doing, but I would have to assume that they're doing something that they don't care about.
yeah, because it's my take on this question is if it gets dinged, it gets dinged. If it gets broken, it gets broken. They don't care. So if they hit someone, they're not going to care about their car. If they get hit, they're not going to care about their car.
And there's a difference when it comes to someone that doesn't give a damn compared to like my neighbor across the street. He's like a granddad to me. He's like, my truck's a truck. I use it to go hunting.
you use it like a truck.
If you get a scratch on it or a dent, it's another story to tell. Like he dented his front bumper a few years back out hunting. He got stuck in like the mud and then he slid forward. He hit. This was out in Virginia, so of course there's a hill compared to if you're hunting here, it's all flat. But he slid into a tree, and for him, he's like, the tree saved me. Now I have a story to tell. He repaired it, of course, but if he has a dent or a scratch, he'll wear it proud. But there's a different significance to that compared to just somebody with a primered front bumper or missing it because they just really don't care. They turn it on, you hear the rods knocking, you hear no oil. You're like, how do you treat your stuff like that?
Can y'all help me delete my exhaust? Good old exhaust.
We can do an engine delete for weight reduction.
Do an engine delete for you, Eric.
Turn into a soapbox.
Yeah, because then you won't need this, and I can use this on something else.
Yeah, there you go.
I like that. Gavel on 3. 1, 2, 3. We're supposed to gavel together. Next question.
Get out of here.
Wait, did you ever answer so? Why?
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 Oh, I put the question, so.
Oh, true. Next question.
It's topics.
Topics. Yeah. Electric Mustang. Waste of money or necessary step? Bum, bum, bum.
Are we talking Mach E or like an actual Mustang that's electric?
So I have a quick take on that.
All right.
The Mach E should not have been a Mustang. I think the Mach E, if it was going to be a sedan that was electric, I think it should have had its own thing. That's my similar take with the Lightning, but I won't talk about that. I think there should have been an electric Mustang that looked like a Mustang, a two-door.
I have something.
Sports car.
The 4-door Mach E could have been the Thunderbird. You're dealing with
SUV.
you're dealing with the electric. The
Either way.
Maverick was a car back in the 70s.
Yeah,
and
like
now it's a
either way,
truck.
you'll have the people that hate it because Thunderbird was like a Corvette competitor. But here's the thing about it. Mach-E should have been a Focus. The thing about like the Mach-E is that the Mach-E exists because Ford has to keep a certain range of mileage for that lineup. The
mileage,
like gas mileage, like fuel economy. And just because it's electric does not mean it doesn't have a fuel economy number assigned to it. Like what the government does is they use a different number. It's kind of different, but they call it equivalent. So it's MPG equivalent. And they use that to rate electric cars on that same scale as like a normal car. But the thing about it is, if they wanted to release the GT500, which gets abysmal fuel economy, by the way, they have to have a car that offsets that. In this case,
so
the EcoBoost.
It's a scale, and they needed to balance it out
Exactly. That's why the Ford Lightning exists.
because the Raptor R came out.
Because the Raptor R exists. Okay. For every car that is a complete gas guzzler, you have to have a car that basically basically doesn't use gas.
So it goes in like,
well,
this.
That goes back to
It's a scale.
Joey.
It's a scale they want to balance. So the thing is, they released the Raptor, right? They released the EcoBoost F-150. They released the Raptor R, they released the Lightning as an offset.
So,
But that goes back to you could have done the Explorer as the Mach E, which because
But
you have
it
the
doesn't
ST.
count because it's
No, hold on. And then because Tesla has the 2-door, Teslas.
They don't have
Are they
two-door
2 doors?
Teslas. No, they're all 4
No,
doors.
they're 4 doors. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure there would have been people that would buy the 2-door Mustang if it was an actual electric Mustang.
yes.
Like,
I would 100% buy it if it was
If it was a
affordable for me.
2-door,
Yeah, if it was a
okay.
2-door like full on Mustang.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you could have done a car to offset it. Like, either which
Yes.
way, you would have had the same sales pitch.
But they're
You would
using a
have had-
different platform because the platform that the existing Mustang is on it's not easily adaptable to E EV.
Well, I would figure you'd go to the next. Like, but
That's the thing. Even the S650 is the same platform as the S550.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
It's not easily adaptable.
wait. Like, I know they're making
They
the
couldn't.
next one.
They couldn't.
So,
That's the thing. They could not wait because they had to do that. It's the Tesla Roadster.
That was a concept, wasn't it?
Yes, that is a concept, and it does not exist yet. The old Roadster was a 2-door. Yes, back in 2008. But
What was the one that got like 2.3 seconds 0-60?
that's the Tesla Plaid.
No, there was a
Model S
2-door.
Plaid. Oh, you mean the
Roadster.
the Roadster, the one
The
that
newer one.
that is still a concept car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got like 1.9 seconds 0-60, but 1.9 seconds.
The magic of video editing.
you know what? Since we're on the topic of
More like the magic
it'll-
of
electric
artificially
vehicles.
inflating numbers.
In what vehicles?
Electric vehicles, I'm starting to see like tires that are specific for like what makes a tire different that it's specific to an EV car.
Yes.
Twerk?
The difference would be weight and torque. So the tires have to withstand more weight because the car weighs more.
Okay.
And then at the top, at the same time, it has to withstand the torque because it instant.
So if I were to put those tires on, say, a Mustang, like what would like
It just ride harder. Like they're very similar. It'll just ride harder a little bit.
explain right harder?
Like going from 17-inch wheels with 37-inch tires to going to 20-inch wheels with 33-inch tires. Like you have more sidewall in this case. Like the rubbers, in this case, it's rubber formulation, but like it'll feel similar to that.
Science.
Yeah.
That's the more technical stuff.
Yeah, the technical word is science.
The technical word is science. But yes.
But,
Electricity.
I want to go into one thing. You know what I want to see? I
Oh
want
my
to see a. You know how Ford does the Power Boost F-150?
Like the diesel?
No. That's
There's
Power Stroke.
Okay. What's the
The hybrid
Power
F-150.
Oh, okay.
You worked at a Ford dealership.
Dude, I don't remember that. Do you think I looked at all the different specs? No.
I would. But
Well, I mean, I know you would, but
Fake fan.
I was
But-
given
Fake
the
fan.
Mustang lineup because I had one.
Fake fan.
okay.
The story behind that was hilarious.
So you know the Power Boost F-150, which is the hybrid one. I want to see that, but in a Mustang.
I don't think they had that when I was working there.
It might have
They
been.
had the F-150
Power Stroke, right?
diesel, yeah.
And then they had the-
F-150, the regular F-150s.
And then they had the Raptor.
They had the Raptor. So fun fact about the Raptor. I went back to my old job, saw my old boss, and told him like, "Hey, I bought a Raptor." Or actually, I didn't tell him. I just said, "Could you get me a printout of the original sticker?"
Uh-huh.
And he's like, "Yeah, give me the VIN." So I gave him the VIN. And the way he looked at me was just, he's like, "You're kidding me." I go, "What?" He's like, "You went out and you bought a Raptor." Yes. It's like, he goes, I knew it. But when he looked at it, he goes, I actually ordered this Raptor from the factory. He goes, so you probably drove it on the lot when it was brand new, because it was around that same time frame.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, isn't that funny? It makes full circle back to the first guy that drove it off the trailer. I actually really enjoyed that job. It was very laid back and just drive cars all day.
That sounds like fun if it didn't pay like like how it does.
Oh, I mean, it was very low pay, but at the same time, you did very little work.
Yeah.
It's like, you go and you drive a car, you park it, you make the lot look nice, and ta-da.
Yeah.
So
Now, going back to what I was saying, I want to see a hybrid Mustang. What do you guys
Like
think
a
about
Civic?
that? No.
no, he means like a Prius, where it's the battery is charged by the engine, right?
Kind of. Now, the Power Boost F-150, here's what it does. The transmission's different, the engine's the same. But what the transmission does is it has an electric motor in there, and it provides more power for the rest of the drivetrain, meaning it makes more power. Now, think about that, if you put the Power Boost unit on a 5-liter like Mustang, it'll go from 500 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque to 650 horsepower and almost 700 foot-pounds of torque on a naturally aspirated engine with a hybrid drivetrain and a 10-speed auto in a Mustang.
That the Mustang is already, I don't want to say uncontrollable, because it's actually very controllable if you respect it.
Yeah.
That goes for any vehicle with power. That goes for any vehicle at all.
You have to be smart about how you apply the power.
Yeah, because a lot of these guys just press the gas. That's all the meme. I mean, they press the gas to the floor the moment they're turning. Like, bad idea. Even once you straight off and you hit the gas, I mean, the Mustangs are not known for going in a straight line. The back end breaks loose every model Mustang I had broke loose the same exact. Actually, no. Excuse me. The one thing, up to like 2015, everything, all the models before that, the S197, those broke off to the left.
Okay.
Gwen broke off to the right. That was the only difference that I could tell you. And the funny thing is I've had so many Mustangs that I could tell you that detail of which way it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that has to do with like the IRS on the newer ones, maybe.
I'm gonna guess so. I'm not.
That's the only thing different.
I'm not a suspension engineer, but the reason I'm saying that, I think it would be like a cool model, like it would increase the fuel economy standards for the Mustang, but at the same time it provides, gobs of power to the point where it's like, okay, yeah, this is getting kind of fun.
And reckless. I mean, you
got the GT500, which is 700 horsepower,
but only certain people can afford it. It's a problem.
That's true.
So
I mean,
they're still reckless. I'm not saying the people that can afford it are not reckless, because they are, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Raptor. If you hit the gas at the wrong moment, you're breaking traction because the tires
sideways.
can't. Yeah, tires can't hold it.
Yeah, like even the V6 Raptor, like the one you have, it just, you floor it, it's gonna spin tires.
Yeah, unless you have it in like 4 high. Yeah,
in that case, all 4 tires are pulling you, so you have enough grip.
And then I scare the crap out of myself doing a launch. Yeah, but I did it for the video. If you want to see that, that's our video.
The exhaust video?
Yes, the exhaust video.
The one with the CVF downpipes.
Yes. Let me get the title for it. Don't switch it. I'm just trying to get the title.
Don't tell me what to do, Mom. God.
Where is it?
No one understands me.
Right here.
You may know me, but you don't know my story.
Ford Raptor, CVF downpipes, and mount tune exhaust. That one has the launch that I scared the crap out of myself.
That's what it sounded like. I'll just give you all like the audio of the video, right? Yep, that was exactly. Applause, please. Thank you.
I need the sound from the what is it called?
The womp womp.
That one, but from Price is Right. It's like bump bump ba-doom.
Dang.
That one didn't land very well.
That was pretty funny to me though. Good job, Joe.
Good job, Joey.
Anyways. Okay, we're gonna go to the next question. That is somewhat question topic. I got yelled at for not saying it right. But the next one is somewhat of a car question, but we're gonna go to a different type of question. Collecting cards, Pokemon cards. statue figures, Legos, technology, anything like that. Which one do y'all do for a hobby? What do y'all collect?
Investment versus sentimental.
I collect non-running vehicles.
So, okay, put it like that. What do y'all collect, and do y'all collect it for sentiment, or do y'all sentiment, or investment purposes?
So I can tell you right now, none of it's investment. I can tell you that.
Dang.
No, I have a lot of different hobbies, unfortunately, and I have a lot of different collections. I guess the one that not that I like the most, but the one I can talk about the most. I do a lot of traveling. I've said it a million times, but I do a lot of traveling for work, and so my mom likes to collect like magnets for the refrigerator of different states, different cities, and burn spark plugs. And so I'll bring her home a magnet if it's somewhere different that she hasn't been to. Yeah. But for me, what I started doing is I started collecting anime figures, like the
statues,
the statues, whatever you want to call them. So I mostly did that so I don't buy things like in San Antonio. So it's not like I'm just buying to buy. If I find one that I really like, I have one from Miami, Florida, Fort Myers, Florida, Pittsburgh, Washington D.C. Actually, D.C. I bought a DVD collector set for Chivalry of a Failed Knight, which is like one of the first animes I've ever seen.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it.
I really like that one. I highly recommend anyone that hasn't seen it to take a look at it. I like the message behind it. But some of that is in the studio. Something that's off camera is just kind of a where we've been type of where we started, where we are. A photo of for those of y'all that follow me and the podcast on social media, we have a posting at Ogavi's Jewelry where we have a photo of myself and the owner with the Raptor behind us, and so he has a photo of that there at the store, and we have a photo of that here on the wall here in the studio, and it's just one of those things. It's very personable, and we have a logo drawn from 2015, painting on canvas that Joey did way before he joined the team. This is also 2015 era. And that's one of the things I liked about the studio is we have a lot of the stuff that's off screen that's personal to us. Mm-hmm. But that's one of my collections.
I don't think I collect anything.
He collects computer parts.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that.
You do that for like investment because you would use it later on, no? When you have like different pieces of tech.
Do I?
Well, I have a laptop that we're redoing, and he brought a hard drive,
and it failed,
and it absolutely failed the first time we put it in. So he's like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I don't really think I collect much of anything. I think if anything, I'm going to start collecting lenses for my camera, but
okay,
like that's future, Sal.
I guess to answer the question on my side, a small thing. I mean, I collect Pokemon cards, right? Y'all know that. But one thing I don't talk about too much, and it's a big passion of mine. It's like the anime figures. It's very expensive if you want something good, or something collectible. I collect rocks, and I think I've told y'all that before. I do collect rocks. I love rocks, gems, geology. You're about to say something.
Listen. I laugh not because I'm trying to be mean.
I was popular in high school. I swear.
It's just there's a different way to present it. I'm sure.
I collect rocks.
No.
To be fair, that can get pretty serious.
Yeah, so
I mean,
I have
to be honest,
pieces.
Diamonds are rocks.
Yes, yeah, they are.
So,
but you get to things that are like diamond is the well-known expensive rock, right?
Yeah.
So is ruby, sapphire, emerald. But you have things like one of my favorite rocks that I don't have in my collection because of how expensive it is watermelon tourmaline, and it's a rock.
Let me look up a photo so that way
we can put it up. So
I would like to see it.
It's when I went to
tourmaline.
Let me know how to switch over.
Watermelon tourmaline.
Ooh.
Oh man, that is.
We're good.
What'd you switch to?
I accidentally hit the button to switch to your screen.
Okay.
Am I good?
I mean, I'm on Google Images, so.
So this is watermelon tourmaline. This naturally grows like this. It's the piece that I was looking at this year's Southwest Gem and Mineral Society rock show that I went to. It's from Pakistan. Don't laugh at me. Don't. No, I'm just kidding.
At the chat. I'm laughing at the chat.
Geode. That's funny. So the piece that I was looking at was from Pakistan, but for I don't know, a carat, maybe a little bit more than a carat. That's not even its own like rock. You have to buy it in what's called a matrix, which is it's no, it's a flat piece of rock that has other rocks like maybe not as valuable, and then you have a piece of the rock that you want, which is a matrix. They're like $70 to $120 for one of those, and you're talking about maybe half the size of my palm, right? Then you got things like
so like this.
It's even smaller than that.
Well, I mean, this is the big example.
That would be more like raw watermelon tourmaline. But yes, like that. Even those itself, you're looking at some expensive stuff. It more like that. Go to your left, up, one more over to the right. That right there, something like that. Where it's like into this big cluster of rock, and you're finding a little piece. Another one I was looking at, it was a little like piece of shard. They can get very expensive, and then you have the stuff like one of my other favorites is like sapphire. Those are very expensive, especially if you find one that's polished and cut and all that. Rocks is another subject that I can go on about. And here, controversial, right? I do not call them crystals. Most rocks aren't really crystals.
Some of them are just rocks.
They're just rocks, and I collect them as rocks. I don't think about like the healing properties or anything like that. They're just nice to look at. And I have a few good ones in my collection. I have some tiger's eye. I have a piece of, if you want to look up this one, Noah, this one's really cool. It's called Argonite.
You are too faithful. You want to switch off of that? You are too faithful in my ability to spell.
Argonite.
There it is.
Yep.
Okay.
So this piece, they're found in Morocco, and this is how they naturally form, is in these clusters of different crystals. I have a piece that I won in an auction this year. They have silent auctions at the car show or rock show that I go to every year, and I won this for a pretty good price. I think it was under $20. But this is found straight from Morocco, and this was a really cool one that I got to add to my collection. But to answer the investment versus sentiment, this is sentiment. I don't plan on selling these rocks. I don't plan on.
You could say it's sediment.
Which one is it? There we go.
I just realized the camera is not centered. Now it's bothering me.
Well,
you're not centered.
Great job.
I did an amazing job, guys.
Yeah, I collect rocks.
Okay. Back to us.
Have you considered not changing? Have you considered turning any of those into like a jewelry?
No, not because I wouldn't, but because a lot of the ones I collect right now are already polished and they're already kind of formed into just right. Because again, to get the ones that I want that aren't just like fluoride or citrine or the cheaper rocks that you find at like Buc-ee's, right? Are very expensive. So like one piece of amethyst that would be really nice for a collection is about $40, and I'll limit myself to like $60 a show. So I would only get one piece rather than multiple pieces.
So I have.
Okay.
When I went to Vegas, I bought a ton of like metal bonsai trees that are the leaves are actual stones.
They're called lucky trees.
Yes. I bought one that's full onyx, so it's a white base, it's another. I don't know the name of the rocks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. It's like quartz.
But at the bottom it's like a white quartz probably. But all of the leaves on the branches are onyx.
Yeah, tied with like copper, right, or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
like tied with copper wire or something along the lines. But we also have one. I have one in my office that I need to bring to the studio. But it's a whole bunch of different. It's got onyx and amber.
It's like a rainbow, right?
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of different stones all in one tree. So
That's cool.
I should really bring that in. That could be something that we can share.
See, what is weird about those things, and this is another like tangent, is that you'll find the lucky trees, and they're not too bad in price. Was it?
Define too bad.
They're like what? No more than 30?
No.
Okay, not the ones I've seen.
I paid Vegas price.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
that
that's
might have been
Vegas
it.
price, though.
Because I've seen them like go for like $20, right? And they have the amethyst, the
Or
onyx.
what size?
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. It was Vegas price.
I see
was
it like
Vegas
that, right?
price.
But where you start getting into the higher prices, when you start getting to the higher carats of like, or grams is like, if you get above like 20 grams, you're looking at like,
I paid maybe like between $150 to $200 per tree.
those are quality then.
I need to
Those-
show you I need to show it to you.
That's if it's not
But-
just inflated, though.
That's when I see a lot of them, because like when I go to the shows, they're like $20-$30, and especially like since the pandemic, rocks have skyrocketed in price because of scarcity.
Everything has.
It has, but that industry is like insane. That's why I didn't buy a lot, you know. But quality over quantity, yes, but I like buying multiple things. I've never liked buying just one thing because it feels
Stretch to dollar.
yeah, kind of thing. Yeah, rocks.
Gotcha.
But
How did we get to rocks?
the
Collection.
Oh, collection.
stuff.
No, I got
Yeah.
scammed.
I've probably
Probably.
gotten scammed multiple times. Multiple times.
But it is about the hour mark, so that means we are going to take an intermission to get some water, take a break real quick. Yes, intermission. Yes. So, 10 minutes. We'll be right back. We are back at it again. Guess who's back? Banana, because of DMCA. Welcome back. Did everybody get their popcorn, their water? Did everyone get a potty break?
Potty break.
I got a potty break. Weird. So to kick off the second half of the podcast, I would like to direct your attention to not only the trees that Noah was talking about before we took the break.
It's a little muddy though. Unfortunately, we couldn't tell what it was going to look like on camera.
Dang.
We should probably separate them a tiny bit.
Yeah, we can do that. But before we do, I do, because they're using as stands for our new RaptorStrike jet tags.
So, which? Oh, uh-oh.
No,
Nope.
there it
we
is.
go. Yeah. That will segue us to, if y'all can
Yeah, I'll get ready.
switch to my screen. That segues us back to our announcement from our very first episode. For those of y'all that don't know, we're hosting a car show. We're partnered with Alamo Hero Con, which they put on their own Comic Con and car show. But for this year, we're sponsoring their car show, June 24th and 25th in the Schertz Civic Center in Schertz, Texas. The jet tags that we have created here, we have limited stock, but those are mainly to be given out to drivers that bring vehicles to the car show as a thank you from us. Because the main aspect of it is it's getting everybody together that loves cars, and we call it a car show, but I know a lot of people expect judges and trophies and all that, but it's strictly for entertainment. Walk around, meet some of the local vendors, and just have a good time. So if you're interested, on our website we have the link to the form for the registration form. It's a free event if you have a vehicle in the show. I need to find a better way to state that, because I feel like that could be misunderstood. But
if you sign up for the car show, you get free entry into the actual Comic-Con.
Yes, there you go. It's a whole lot better way to say it. And I lost my train of thought. Damn it.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
But
Joey, take us to our next topic.
But yes, to tie it back up, if you would like to enter or sign up for the car show, the link will be via our link tree.
Correct.
That is RaptorStrike.net.
RaptorStrike.net.
All one word. The registration is purely so we can save you a spot.
Yes. So act quick. They're going fast. Going to our next topic. This is a would you rather, or a kind of a quick question. Stock Raptor R or Whipple. Was that right? Raptor F-150 build.
So the interesting thing about that topic is that was actually brought up by one of our followers on Instagram. So I had posted, for those of y'all that don't know, I try to post when it gets close to us doing a live stream. One of the questions that I asked on there was, is there a topic that you'd like to have us talk about? That was one of the topics that somebody brought up, and I thought it was a great idea because it segues us into the topic of Raptors on the ranch, and we actually saw a lot of F-150 Raptor conversions, which are called Fraptors.
Yeah, so let's get into the topic of what is a Fraptor and how does it compare to the Raptor R. So
or just Raptor in general.
Yeah, so the Fraptor, the concept of a Fraptor is that you take an F-150, right? And then you shove all the parts that make it a Raptor, all the suspension parts that make it a Raptor, onto that F-150. So in this case, I believe we dug a bit into it last stream, but I'm going to say it again right now. It's usually control arms, CV axles, and shocks that make an F-150 a Raptor. And then the rear end, which is, in the case of a Gen 1 and Gen 2, it's leaf springs and shocks. So, now, what makes a regular Raptor, like Noah's, what compares that to a Raptor R?
Your stock. Continue.
How does what is the difference between a F-150 Raptor and an F-150 Raptor R?
Not getting too far into the weeds, the main difference is
the R.
The Raptor. The R. The Raptor is a V6 twin turbo, 3.5 liter V6. The Raptor R is the 5.2 liter V8 supercharged. So it's got all the whining noise that you want. It has all the American muscle sound that everyone loves, but it's in the Raptor.
Exactly.
That's the main. That's not the only difference, but it's the main difference.
So what a lot of people would do to kind of make the Gen 2 Raptor that everybody's always wanted is they would take drivable white pirates. They would take an F-150 with a 5 liter. They would take an F-150 with a 5 liter and then Raptor swap it, which, that'd be awesome. That'd be like a Gen 2 version of an original Raptor. But Raptor R got released, and it's like, okay, well, now this thing makes 700 horsepower and has a supercharger, has all the whiny noises. It's a Gen 3 Raptor equivalent. What what would it take to make the equivalent in a Fraptor? Well, you can just take a Whipple supercharger, slap it on an F-150 that's been Raptor converted, and boom, you got yourself a Fraptor with a Whipple, basically.
Although the regular F-150 will be a 5.0 compared to the Raptor R's 5.2.
True.
But that's, again, getting into the very minute details.
Yeah, exactly. But, pushing into that, you're probably going to make more power on an F-150 with a Whipple than a stock Raptor R, because we haven't started tuning
Your stock.
The
Raptor R.
Nobody's been able to tune the Raptor R yet, from what I can tell. I haven't really looked at that too much.
I've done it. It's in an A-sharp minor.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
You don't get a drum set for that one.
I
Nope.
did it in my head. That's all that matters. Good job, Joey.
Anyways, guys, we're leaving now. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, no. Some of the guys that we met out there, I followed them on social
Raptors
media.
at the ranch.
Raptors on the ranch. There was quite a few guys that did the Raptor conversions.
Yeah.
And whether they're the Raptor owners there or the Dodge TRX or the Bronco Raptor, a lot of those guys were really cool to talk to and hang out with. They had a lot of, they had other ways of looking at things. Or I did the very last jump I did. I bottomed out the entire truck.
It was amazing.
Yeah, that was
and
crazy.
Unfortunately, we didn't get any video of it because the main person that was doing all the
so-
videoing all day was actually in the vehicle.
What was so funny about you beat it was the best time of the day by like 20 seconds. Me and Sal went to go tell you. Everyone's looking at the car. You're like, my bumper's pushed in. I just remember Sal bending over, looking at it, nodding his head, and just yanking it out of the like front end. And it was the funniest thing ever because I was like,
And you're good.
Yeah.
You're fine. It's 3-piece
go
bumper.
again.
There you go.
So, but a lot of those guys that I met, they're very personable, and they'll give you insight, or hey, you need to buy these parts. And one of the guys actually followed me on Instagram and then sent me a parts list, and he's like, if you want to do that again, because we want to see you do it again, but we don't want you to break your truck, do this. And he sent like $5,000 worth of parts that he's like, yeah, and then you can do that over and over and over and over
and over.
We love it. But
Was that the dude at the end that was telling you about the arms?
Yes.
Yeah?
He was showing.
What a cool dude.
He sent all the pieces, parts, and it's
that. Why I gotta? No, but that's kind of like the vibe that kind of going back into the message of RaptorStrike. That's kind of the vibe we want to bring back to just everybody.
Support the whole everybody likes everybody else.
Yeah, he didn't say like, oh, haha, you broke your Raptor. Oh, anime Raptor. He was like, hey, that was cool, but here's how you are able to keep doing it.
the funny thing about we're flip-flopping topics here, but the main thing is just the Raptors. When it came to actually pulling into the event and having and like kind of showcasing the Raptor, like a first unveil at an actual event, it became less about the anime Raptor rather than the driver and his team. Like, the bad way to say it is like, nobody gave a damn about the truck. Of course, they're like, that is a really cool truck. That's a great idea. Or, you did you on that truck. You had 30 of the same truck and everyone had the same canvas, but they did something different to it. Each one was unique in some certain way. But it became less about the truck and more about knowing the driver. Or like, hey, have you done this before? Because I just watched you yeet your truck off that last jump and just completely eat dirt. Do you know how to do that? No. They're like, okay, first off, that was awesome. Second, let me show you how to do it so you don't break it. Because at that point, like we mentioned last episode, they know what it takes to have it. They know what it's like to break it. They know what it's like to fix it. And it's like everyone's together. And like you're saying, that's our main message that we want to bring out and broadcast is if a lot of the car guys have changed, or maybe I shouldn't say a lot, but usually you start out with one and you're like, I'm muscle car, and after, or I'm lowrider, and then you start changing over time what you like. But you still have all the experience from being a lowrider or anything else. So if you come up to somebody else and you're like, hey, how is that working? Or like you with Hondas. Like if there's somebody with a Honda, you like to talk to them about it. Hey, what did you do with this? How did you do your suspension? Here's what I would have done, or here's some other parts that you may have not have known.
Yeah, just don't be a toxic person.
Exactly. And unfortunately, we have a lot of that culture in here, and
San Antonio is in general.
San Antonio in general, but it's broad. It's very widespread and very ego. Very ego. What's the word?
It's very ego-minded. It's everybody has that their build is the best build, and they are they're very closed-minded, I should say.
Very, very closed-minded, and for us, we like it all. We like the low riders that are missing paint and doing jumps or whatever, or they can do a pose as they're and we like the drift cars. We like the Japanese. We like the
like
everything
at that
in
show
between.
we went to at Chaparral Ford.
There was a
the
lot.
lowrider guy, the lowrider kid that was there, that was had his truck, his little S10.
Yeah,
it was amazing to talk to because he was like, all these things, and it's just the front end that's on bags, so I just have it kind of posed up like that, and he talked to me about his car club that he was a part of, and how his dad helped him do a lot of the stuff that he did to the truck.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't know a lot about it, but he's learning, and that's the thing that a lot of people kind of lack. I don't know, like a lot of people seem to just lack the fact that everybody's still learning. Everybody's still learning about what is going on with their cars, how to modify them, how to do things like that.
And even if we zoom out and we take a look at like everyone's career, it is the same. It's not only the car culture that's like that. It is everything. It's really the work culture is what it is. I mean, for me, I didn't start out in the construction business. I started out in IT. And once I got into construction, I am very fortunate for the people that I have around me. For the man that hired me. That I don't know very many men that have a reputation that would stake it on a 21-year-old kid that they do not know. That's rare.
Oh yeah.
But for him to have that kind of sense of, I trust you, and let's see where this goes. Because I had no experience in it. There were some guys that on the spectrum, it's like, who's this kid? He doesn't know what he's doing, or I'm not going to listen to you because yada 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 yada. I've been doing this for 50 years, and I don't get how they're 43, but they've been doing it for 60 years. Like, listen, your math skills are a little out of the window.
Your math is a little. The math ain't mathing.
The math ain't mathing. But the big thing, like you're saying, is everyone forgets where they started. Yeah. Everyone forgets where they're from, and it's like, hey, we were all a rookie at one point. I'm fortunate, in my personal case, I'm fortunate to have the mentors that I had, because I tell them all the time, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have lasted 3 months, 6 months probation to have this job, because y'all were very open-minded and y'all were willing to teach. And the flip side of that response is their response to me was, you were willing to learn. There's gotta, and that goes with everything. There's a two-way street. You got to be able to take criticism. You got to be able to give it, or if you can give it, you got to take it. But if you're wanting to learn something, you have to want it. You need to be there and be present and actually understand what they're saying. I don't get in trouble a lot at work, but if I do, I know it's for good reason. Like, don't do it again, basically, is all it is. Now you know what you did wrong. Don't do it again. Simple.
Yeah.
But then there's people that do it again and again and again and again. And you're like, really? Like, okay, second chances are okay. But, but, back to the car culture stuff is there's people that want to learn. And like Joey was saying, we're open to everybody. If you want to learn, or this is what you can afford, make sure it's safe. Do not put yourself in danger and everybody else on the road. That's my number one thing. Do not bring it out if it's not ready. There's the flip side to that is you bring it out, it's not ready, but it's on a trailer.
That's fine. Saying don't bring it out, it's not ready. There's always another car show. There's always another show. There's always another race. There's always more of what you're going to want to do. You don't need to put yourself in danger to, go out and show off. It's not worth it. You're probably going to hurt yourself. You're probably going to hurt people around you. And it's just stupid. You'll president. You'll hurt yourself.
You got knocked off your pedestal.
Dang.
Sorry, Joey.
He said Joey
Thanks,
for vice
Dad.
president. What's your take on that? I mean, what's y'all's take on just the ability to learn, the ability to want to learn, the as I brought up, if it's not ready, don't bring it out.
So my take on that is that I don't understand the flip side of that. When people are so stuck in their ways, they don't want to learn. Like, I've met people who are good at what they do, but they're not willing to hear anything else. They're not willing to hear the new technology or the new way or an alternative way. They're like, no, this is how you do it. And I feel like that's a bottleneck for new inventions, new processes. With me, I feel like I'm a sponge. I want to learn everything. I want to
SpongeBob SquarePants.
DMCA. I want to learn everything. I want to take everything in. I take every criticism to heart, not in like a mopey way, but like, okay, why did I get in trouble? Or why was I told this was wrong? Why?
But nobody would have known if you didn't bring it up, Gio.
So, like that. And I just keep learning. I mean, like with Noah saying he went from IT to construction. I went from esports to broadcast and set design. But that was
Esports, I mean...
EA.
No, just esports.
E. It's in the E.
I took PE online.
I know. We know. So like esports coming from like live streaming and
you went
content
from being
management.
on the content to creating, to working with the equipment that makes the content.
Yes, like a lot of people think I do a production job, but we're the ones behind the production. So how is that production possible? How did they get that video on the screen? How is that going to TVs worldwide? And it was just from being willing to... I remember my mentor who got me into the game. I won't say the name. But when I first started in production through esports, I was told, hey, get in contact with this dude. We have an event coming up in 2 weeks. He's the one that does the live streaming for the venue. I'm like, okay. So I go over there and he's like, okay, what's the run of show? I don't know. What's the layout? I don't know. What games are you gonna have? Maybe this and this. Okay. How many ports do you need? Do you need internet? Do you need to be able to go out? He starts saying all these questions. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, they just sent me out here. We sat down for 3 hours straight, just developing a plan, and him teaching me everything. And then for the next 2 weeks, I went back there every single day after classes, after work, and I was just willing to learn. And he would tell me like, Joe, get me a 30-foot Cat 6 cable. I would bring an HDMI cord. I remember that specifically. I brought him an HDMI cord because I didn't know what Cat 6 was. Mm-hmm. And I remember I didn't get a scolding, but he's like, Joey, this is an HDMI cord. I don't know. I told him I don't know what Cat 6 is, and he like lectured me on this and and he told me what it was. But it was that I didn't get offset. I didn't be like,
he taught you what it was instead of just telling you, you're horrible.
Not only that, but I guess something that ties into that is you have to have the ability to adjust to people's teaching styles. Mm-hmm. Not everybody's going to explain it in a way that you'd understand. You have to be able to understand the way they explain it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I worked under a few engineers, and all of them different teaching styles. Some were a little more explaining. Some were you just need to do it, and some were just like, I'm going to show you once, and we got to get this done.
And
you know?
and that's where, coming back to my personal is the mentors that I have, they were willing to teach, and for us it's easy for us to understand how people teach. So we just kind of get into that mindset of this is just how they speak, this is how they present information, and we have to learn. When it came to what I would do, or for construction wise, say we're looking at drawings, or we're in a meeting talking about a certain detail, and when I first started, for me, I'm not afraid to tell you I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything, because I don't. I can tell you that right now. But I was fortunate enough to have a mentor that's an architect, and he's a fantastic drawer. I mean, he can draw something that you can put your eyes on and be like, okay, I know how that works. If I had a question, he would draw it. Be like, this is what we're talking about, and this is how it all goes together.
Like the workflow or the diagram of it.
Exactly. And so, he would draw the piece of the building for me to understand what it is. And I'm very the only words that I could use is I'm in debt to the 3 men that had mentored me for my career that I have now. And I'm thankful, but the only way to put it is I'm in debt. If it weren't for them, none of this would be possible.
Exactly. And it's those people, like I have, like the 3 people who took a chance on me, took a chance on the unknown kid, right? And they taught me what I know. They're willing to teach me. Again, 3 different teaching styles across the board. But again, you have to adapt to that learning style. You can't just... I've met so many prides and proud people since I've started working in my field that are like, they take everything to heart because they know more, or they take everything to heart because of their experience and how many years they've been, and no one can tell them anything. But it's like, no one, like maybe some people, right, are telling you to hurt you or to be condescending, but there are some people who want you to learn. You can't just be proud about it. You're not going to go anywhere if you're prideful.
Yeah, and this really ties back. I've watched our first stream many times, or I'll listen to it while driving, and one of the things that we spoke about was nobody is ever truly self-made, and these are the stories of. These are really the precursors to what RaptorStrike will be. Sure, we put in the very hard work to be here, but it's all the people in the background that have shown support and mentored us in our own careers to where now we have a focus of this is what I want to do, and then we build off of that. But if it weren't for all of the people in the background that we've met to get along the way, even the people we never want to see again, they're a building block to what we are constructing, and that's a main message. One thing I do want to say to the audience, we're still getting a handle on our podcast flow and our topics and everything, so I really appreciate y'all sticking around. I know we kind of ping pong and with ideas and make very many right and left turns, but I do appreciate y'all's patience with us getting this in line. This is episode 2, but I'm sure we'll get better at it, so thank you.
It's 2 out of
100.
Hopefully many.
Yeah.
Yep. Sal, what's your take on being willing to learn?
You have to be willing to learn to be able to survive in anything, because if you don't learn, then you make the same mistake over and over and over and over again.
The definition of insanity is doing something over and over again and thinking of it,
expecting a different result.
There we go.
It's the same thing. If you're not willing to learn, but you keep doing the same mistake over and over again, thinking you're gonna succeed, it's not gonna work. You got to make mistakes. Yes, I agree with that, but you got to be willing to learn from those mistakes and not be hard-headed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for a quote that I saw today, and I really liked it.
Turn around, don't drown.
That's a good one.
Text dot.
Text dot. gobble gobble, easy on the throttle. That was the funniest one during
Yeah, there was like
Thanksgiving.
there whoever does their signs, like the text for the signs is pretty unhinged sometimes, and it's great.
So funny. There was a,
I like the Valentine's Day one. No Valentine, your seatbelt will hold you.
yeah. Y'all have driven to Dallas, right?
Many
Yeah.
times.
You've seen how many Bucky signs are out there? There is like 50 Bucky signs, like every mile for like 10 miles at one point. There's one that says, it's from, I forgot what the gas station's called, but it says, don't waste your bucks, spelled B-U-C-S, on a beaver. And I'm like, look, you don't disrespect my gopher like that. Okay? You don't...
That's a beaver, though.
The capybara?
The capybara.
You don't disrespect Bucky's the gopher like that.
It's a
Yes,
beaver,
it's
though.
a beaver. It's a
guy.
it's a gopher. Yes.
Somebody didn't do biology, I guess.
I did biology
Somebody-
online. Do I go on to the next?
I can't. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, just
So, next question, not on this, because I thought about it right here, and it's a memory that I would like to talk about. What is y'all's favorite, like, car event related memory? Like car meets, car event. I can start off if y'all want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
go for it.
So one memory in particular was in Corpus. I haven't been there recently, but I the times that I did see
Borpus.
the car scene or like a car meet in Corpus, it's always been really cool. It's nothing been really crazy, but there was one time I was maybe like 15 ish, roughly 15, 16. Y'all know where the American Bank Center is, right? In Corpus, right there by the art museum. Right at the end of the line before the boat. There's that big event center, and then right next to it is the art museum. It's right before the bridge.
I haven't been to Corpus as many times as I've been to Houston or Dallas or Austin.
So there's the bridge, right? And then you have the Texas State Aquarium on the other side and all that. Well, on the other side of that is the American Bank Center, and that's where they do, like, it's basically their AT&T Center, right? Or Alamo Dome.
Okay.
There's the street level where they have the little turnaround or whatever, but if you go lower, there's a little bit of parking, but people like to fish there. So one night, and we usually we like going at like 11 o'clock midnight and fish till like 2 or 3 in the morning. So we go to that spot, and all these cars just start coming into the parking spots, parking up high, and just built cars, trucks, all that, loud ones, bikes came in, and we don't condone illegal activities. They started drag racing on that front strip, like right in front of everybody, right on that main street of Corpus. Like if you're going to Joe's Crab Shack or anything along that line, like that whole it's oceanfront. They just started racing, like out of nowhere, and everyone's laughing. No one's upset. Everyone's having a good time. There's speakers going, all that stuff. Everyone's being cycled out. Everyone's setting up for about an hour or so. And I remember that was when I was barely getting into the car scene. So that was such a cool memory. We're fishing. We're talking about it. Oh, who do
were
you
you
think's
with?
gonna win? My parents.
Okay.
So
So it was a nice family core memory.
yeah, it was a nice family core memory. Just seeing all that, and then cops came, shut it down, and they told the fishermen like, "Hey, we know you're not doing anything, but we need to vacate everybody." Like, dang. So leaving, all the cars just kept revving and like, doing some hooligan stuff. But it was a really cool memory because that was like one of my first intros into like the car scene. So yeah, that was one of
That's
my
cool.
So when you say car memory, it has to be a meet or a
No,
or just
it's
a memory.
an event.
Memory.
I said specifically an event because with car memory, I mean, like me driving your Mustang for the first time was a good car memory. But I'm talking about like an event or something that happened.
Is that how you want to take it? Because I talk about Raptors on the Ranch all the time, and it's like
Core memory unlocked.
That was a core memory that if there was something that I could put on repeat and live every day of my life, that would be the day that I would put on repeat. I mean, I had my family there, I had friends, I had mentors, you know, and everyone was there and everyone had a great time. You guys were there, and it's like it was all filmed. It was all photographed, and that's a core memory that I'd relive if I could every day. You know, because it's the first time taking the Raptor out and doing an off-road thing. You know. But I'm really trying to think of something else.
So, for mine, I think it'd be my first drag racing pass.
That makes sense.
The first pass I've ever made drag racing. It was just like
was I there or
no?
Or
I went by myself.
I went like the third time you went, maybe.
Yeah, I went by myself that time. Basically, you know, I was super nervous going in up to the start line. Right, super nervous. I didn't do a burnout because I was like, I'm not gonna do a burnout.
I don't think you've ever done a burnout before your race.
I have.
You used to.
Towards the end, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I used to go with Sal, he used to do a burnout. You would skip the
I'd skip the water box back into it because I didn't want to get my front tires wet because that's a big no-no apparently. And then, you know, you back into the water box, you kind of come out, you do your burnout, kind of goes, you know, let your car do its thing, and then you go to your start line and then start your race. But the first time I didn't do any of that. I just kind of pulled up to the start line, and then I blacked out. And just started going.
I would black out during another background piece on Sal and I's. We both performed mariachi.
Yeah,
we used to do music concerts.
Yeah,
and if I did a good job, I blacked out. I couldn't tell you anything that happened, but if I remember what was going on, oh man, I was so bad.
Basically, that's me with drag racing, and it's addicting. I basically just slowly started building my car up to be a drag car. You know, I got a better clutch. I got suspension to help with that. I bought a set of slicks.
Yeah, do you remember when you installed those? I was with him. We took it on the open road.
We took it on the highway.
Scariest thing I've ever done.
The car's doing this on the highway, and I'm just like,
and so I was like, oh, I can feel it. I'm like, yeah, I can feel it too, dude. Like, we're gonna die, and we're on like gravel road.
Yeah, but yeah, that I never got to use the slicks properly. So, but that was
one day.
I mean, the track's closed.
Well,
so.
I mean,
that track's
never
closed.
Say never.
But
that track's closed.
That track's
right.
closed.
Well, there's no other tracks near here.
We're going to Houston.
That's also closed.
We're going to Texas Motor Speedway because I saw that coming back from Dallas.
Yeah.
There's that, but
I've passed that going to Denton. I really can't think of another memory.
I feel like Raptors on the Ranch is yours. Like that was the one that stuck
I was trying to find another memory because I just talk about that one.
I mean, if that's your memory, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's that one because I think it's probably like for me, it's my memory, right? Like my drag racing thing, but because that sparked an addiction in me, right? But
addiction's bad.
So actually, this is a intervention for Sal. We just set it up with 2 episodes.
There you go. But for you, that moment, like you're holy crap, I'm nervous. And then it just goes away.
Then it just goes away.
That happened to you with Raptors on the Ranch.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it went from taking it easy, steady, to just, let's see what happens.
See, I haven't gotten
If
there
I
yet.
break, I break.
I haven't gotten there yet because I haven't found my like niche. I don't know. Because at the core, like what I really like is the lowrider scene. Like my dad loves it. Shout out my dad. He loves the lowrider scene. We want to build an 88 Monte Carlo one day. That was his dream. I want to do it with him. But I've always been into the lowrider scene, but I don't know if I'll ever get that, I guess, jump that y'all did.
You will.
There'll be that point in your life.
One day.
But like but with y'all had to like send it to do it.
But we started our careers a lot sooner than you did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he started his career way before we even graduated. So, but going back to your accomplishments, you're a college graduate. That's a bit of a trade-off. You finished off school, you got your degree, now you're starting your career. I didn't finish my degree. I started in my career. I changed careers like 4 times, and now I'm here. Mm. So we've made a lot of different life choices, but we've kind of one of the big things is people see the wallpaper that's on our Facebook page, and it's the photo of us 3 at Raptors on the Ranch. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say you could see the respect, the camaraderie, the brotherhood between us 3. And I think that has a lot to do with all 3 of us being there for each other at our lowest points. We've seen each other at our lowest, and we're starting to see each other. We're happy to see each other finally going in a direction where we want to be. And I think that's I can't thank y'all enough for being there for me through events that we won't bring up. And being there.
Sorry, I have to bring it up.
But being at your low, it's cliche and cheesy, but it's the ultimate truth. Being at rock bottom is the best because it really shows you your demons, and there's literally no other way besides up.
Yeah, I agree with that statement because I've never, you hear that statement, right? If you're at rock bottom, the only way is up. You hear it a lot, but you never really know about it till you experience it. And that's like when I was going through the low of my life a few years ago, you start seeing all these different things. You start seeing what you don't like about yourself, what you do like about yourself, what you want, what your dreams are. And it takes a lot of kicking and punching and and people give up. There are some people who give up, not in like the more morbid sense, but more in the sense of like some people are content, some people want to stay at rock bottom, some people just want to sulk there, right? Mm-hmm. But we've seen each other get to the point where we've dug ourselves out of that hole, because yes, you can be there for someone and we're all there for each other, but it takes you getting the shovel and filling the hole back in, or the ladder, or whatever.
It's easy to say, no one's helping me, but you got to help yourself first.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that you get it. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you're staying where you are.
Yeah,
and I'm proud of the strides that we've taken and where we are now. Unfortunately, it does take those deep, dark moments of us to finally, I don't want this anymore. I'm gonna do something else. Mm-hmm. And taking a risk is one of the best things you can ever do. And just seeing where it takes you. Which segues us into a lighter note of a story that happened today with Joey.
So, I was back. So, this week I've been in Wichita Falls. And that's North Texas, not the Panhandle, but it's right before Oklahoma. And today a coworker and I, of mine, we were driving back in one of the work cars, and we were driving. It was fine. We were driving for like 5-6 hours. Everything was cool. Nothing was wrong with the truck, or it was the Navigator. We're driving back, and
I like how y'all's work vehicle's a Lincoln Navigator.
It's cool, right?
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Mine's an F-150 and an Escape.
No, we have a Lincoln Navigator.
I have to take my own truck to customer sites.
We have a Lincoln Navigator and an F-250, and the ranch truck, which is a Sierra and 4x4, and a boat, and a boat. And a boat. So we're driving, and about 9 minutes away from the office. It was like 6 miles down the road. My coworker starts messing with the shifter, trying to go to like 1 or 2 or manual mode. I'm like, what are you doing? And we're in the left lane, right? He's like, the truck died. was like, what? He's like, yeah, it died. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he starts slowing down. I'm like, what? What's going on? So he gets to the middle lane. He gets to the middle lane, and I'm like, we're gonna stop in the middle. Oh no, this is like my worst fear. It's to stop in the middle of the highway. Luckily, we got over all the way, and it was like right next to an on-ramp, so we parked in the little triangle. And we're trying to call. We're going down the list. We're trying to call trying to call our boss. He's out of town. We're trying to call some friends. They're busy. We're trying to call the insurance, and that's not working. And I tell these guys, because I tell these guys everything of what happens. I send them a picture. I'm like, our navigator died. LOL. And me and my coworker, I mean, we're stressed out. We're trying to figure something out. And
the first instinct is we're on our way.
Yeah, they're like, y'all need a bell out. And I'm like, let me go through the rest of the list. And Noah's like, we got trucks that'll pull trucks to safety. And I'm like, if y'all...
What did I say?
Yeah, you say we got trucks that'll pull trucks.
Oh, keep going.
I know, I want to see if I'm right. It's right there.
I said... we got trucks that can pull to safety.
Oh, I saw trucks that'll pull trucks. So I was like, that was weird. But, and I was like, if you are cool with it, here's my location. We'll just be sitting here. And then I tell my coworker and goes through the questions, right? He's like, well, do they have this? No. Do they have this? No.
Do they have a plan? Absolutely not.
He's like, so how are they gonna... I'm like, look, they're gonna do it. And that wasn't because I didn't know how they were gonna do it. I just, they're gonna do it.
It's because he didn't know how.
So usually, right, you're stuck on the side of the road. What pulls up? A tow truck, right? What pulled up to save us was a farm truck from Lytle, Texas, and an anime raptor comes to save us. Right? And man,
mine has all the lights, so I was really just the
hazard,
faller car. So I'm like flicking all the LED lights that I have. So
you're over there, both hands on the switches.
Yeah,
yeah. So we tied up the navigator. We have some video. We might show later.
I'll make a clip of this and put it on our reels with like overlays of photos and video.
Yeah,
and we just got it done. Y'all just, like. We ended up driving it like 10 miles down the road or 6 miles down the road. Sal was...
I would think the hardest part about that is that y'all had to like tandem pull the navigator, but now you had to go downtown. Not only are you dealing with highway, but you're dealing with highway lanes going downtown.
Yeah.
And then driving downtown.
So I always carry equipment in my truck. I think you're going to go get you.
They're going to go in the Outlander.
Hey, it's... If you can think it, it's possible.
I always carry equipment in my truck, so that came in handy.
Yeah. Or if not, I mean, we had to come back to the house anyway, so I brought I had taken my toe strap and... But the big... You know what I need to get? I need to get those soft...
the soft shackles?
Yeah, I need to get those.
Those Harbor Freight, $30 each. Amazing.
Listen, as long as you don't tell them that it was Harbor Freight quality stuff that saved them.
Nah, dog, that stuff's quality. Like, you look at the ones that you can buy online at any other place, they're like super thin. These things are thick.
Either which way is... the good thing is we were in town, and we were able to help. That's our biggest thing. Because if we weren't in town, God knows how long y'all would be sitting there.
To figure something out.
Couple of hours.
It was also like the median between all the lanes and an on-ramp. So
it was sketch.
Our main thing is the moment we got out, we're like, okay, Sal, move your truck back, pop the navigator in neutral and push it back. We'll switch, position. And it was very quick. I mean, it was maybe 10 minutes, set
Yeah,
up.
we got out. We assessed the situation. We figured out a plan, and then we executed that plan.
And don't worry, I had my high vis vest on and everything.
Yes.
OSHA approved.
We're gonna get a RaptorStrike high vis vest.
That'll be for sale on our website.
Join and that would be a great idea. Just sell vests with our logo on.
You know how that one YouTube channel does like a bunch of different shirt designs, and they do like talking about more power, you know, and do you know what I'm talking about?
Donut.
I don't know if we could say it. I
You
didn't
can
want to
say donut.
I could say donut, but I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be like, oh, they're copying our ideas, you know. Because I was saying,
making
like, the way
a T-shirt
they do it,
was not their idea.
no, it's not. But like the way they do different designs on like how if we do the
Like
the
on
vest,
like the situation thing.
yeah, if we do like RaptorStrike Towing Company, you know, like a funny.
To be fair, that's not an original idea of theirs.
It's not. But
Towing
they
and-
do
towing
like,
and
stuff
recovery.
Like that.
Yeah, they do things like that. So,
But like, or we do RaptorStrike Audio, RaptorStrike set design, you know, something funny. Where
Raptor
it's
Strike
like-
Recovery.
Like
Raptor Strike ice.
electrician-
Was it water flavored ice cream?
Water flavored
I'm
ice
telling
cream.
y'all that's gonna happen.
Yep.
But yeah, and then we got back to the office, and it was funny because we got the navigator back, and we're all unloading, and my coworker was like, "Yeah, y'all can park the car in front of the
The building.
the building and take some pictures." Because I work the building. My office is a old. What?
Birthday baby.
Huh?
It's an old Victorian mansion, like a 20s or 30s Victorian mansion. And so we're like, yeah, we'll take some pictures. Well, my mentor, the one I was talking about that kind of got me into it, he's been working on a boat, and he comes out, he's like, what's going on? Why is this here? I'm about to bash some heads. And me and my coworker are like, whoa, they're with us. They're with us. They're with us. They helped pull the navigator. He's like, oh, okay. He had to calm down for a second before I introduced him. But it was just like,
Is that why he took us for a tour? I was like, you're being
oh,
rude.
no, that's not why. I just wanted to
okay.
show y'all of the office.
Okay.
And then, yeah, no, that was funny. He was like, who are these people? And it's like, no, we're good, homie. Like, they're with us.
No, and this whole towing, story is one of those core memories. Like, it's probably something we'll bring up again, or
To be fair, there are at least like 3 or 4 of those with Joey.
recovery
Rescue
story.
Joey mission
No,
number 5.
my favorite one was the Cobalt down 410. It was
I-10.
you I-10.
It was I-10.
I-10.
So, I'm gonna just say it where we were. Do you remember what parking lot we're in?
Joe's Crab Shack.
Nope. That was what we went to.
Oh no!
So when we first, I didn't know what I put into, but it turned out to be bad fuel. But I was driving my mom to work, and that's happened like 4 times already. But
RaptorStrike rocks.
I was who said that?
Giovanni.
So I drove my mom to work when she used to work by UTSA, and we're driving back, and the car starts sputtering, and it's like it starts being weird. So I pull into a random parking lot, not thinking anything of it, and I call Noah. I'm like, hey, this and that. He's like, I'll be there. And we're sitting there, and my mom gets out of the car, and she's like, really, Joey? I'm like, what? It's like, why'd you have to park right here of all places? And I parked in front of a Hustlers Hollywood adult store. And we sat there for like you got there in like 20 minutes?
It was maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah. And yeah.
He's stuck on that one. No, but it kept dying on him as he was getting down the highway. So I think we pulled over twice.
Once. It was once.
Once.
After that.
We pulled over one more time, and I had told him, hey, Joey, you mind if I just drive? Because I wanted to try something that I didn't know whether or not it was going to work. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. So his mom was in the back seat. Joey was in the passenger, and I was driving. We're going down I-10, getting onto 410. The car dies. I pop it in neutral, turn it off, and we're rolling at speed. Turn it back on, put it in drive, and it keeps going. And
that was the coolest. I can't wait till I get to use that one day because I'm gonna have to. And like, it was just the coolest thing because he's like, it starts dying, dies. I'm like, oh, we're gonna have to pull over. He just pops it in neutral, turns off the car, turns it in motion, and boom, puts it back into drive. Coolest thing I'd ever seen.
And the funniest thing, the funniest thing is I remember your mom saying, "I didn't know you could do that," and I turned I turned to both of y'all. I was like, I didn't either, but it was worth the shot. It's better than stopping in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, that was a funny moment.
Yeah, that one was a. It works. Mm-hmm. You know, it was the fact that I had to stay calm because I knew if I panicked, you'd panic,
yes.
and then your mom would panic, and then it's just chaos.
I remember we're talking about core memories. I remember another one, and I mentioned it earlier, is when I got to drive the S550. When this was before I met Sal. I only got to drive it one time, Gwen. Before I met Sal, Noah was gonna go. You're out of town. We went to, or he was going to go check up on your
house sitting.
Oh, my dogs.
Yeah. Your place, feed the dogs, and he asked me, "Do you want to come with?" I was like, "Sure." So we went. I helped him feed the dogs, and when we're going, he's like, He's like, "Can you back out the Mustang?" And I was like, "Sure, I can back out." He's like, "Do you want to drive it?" I was like, "No, I don't want to drive it. Like, I don't feel." I was still in that weird phase of I don't want to do anything. Like, I don't want to. Like, this is scary.
What's a better term to call that? Because we have a term for that.
The I'm scared of cars phase.
Sure, yeah, we'll call it that.
Yeah, because I did that it was like the sports car and then the trucks and then
just drive the car, dork.
Yes, that's basically
It's just a car. Just drive it.
We back out and then I open the door and I remember specifically this dude shuts the door and he's like, "You're gonna drive it." I was like, but he's like, "You want to own one of these one day? How are you gonna do it if you don't do it? Or how are you gonna learn if you don't do it?" And those words stuck with me. That's every time I have to drive a new vehicle, or like now I've driven like the box truck though. And the next thing is what, like a 18-wheeler? Like I don't know what the one after that is. A dually probably. I always like, how are you gonna learn if you don't do it? Just do it, right? So why it's a core memory isn't that? So we're driving, and he tells me, "When in doubt, slam on the gas." And I'm like, "What?"
Worst advice.
No, that has gotten me out of so many situations. The follow-up to that was, so many crashes happen because people slow down.
Yes.
So what's funny is, I don't think I've ever told you this. Whenever I'm driving with a new driver, or I'm teaching, like I taught my little cousin how to drive, or I was teaching her how to drive, I told her, I was like, "Don't tell your mom this." But
too late.
And she won't see this. Don't tell your mom, but if you're in a situation, slam on the gas. And I told her the same thing, because most crashes happen when you slow down. Apparently that's helped her. It's
hesitation. It's when you hesitate and you freak out and you freeze, that's when bad things happen.
That's why I encourage fast cars. Not like, hey, you get yourself out of situations. That's what I tell my mom.
You drive a Chevy Spark, it'll change your outlook on what cars you want to buy. That thing does not move to save your life. Which goes back to the Mirage. But the main focus, the main message of you driving the car, you had said, I think you had said, "I'm not comfortable with it," or "I don't think I can drive it. I'm not ready." And my response was, "How do you know you're ready if you don't even try? Give it a shot." Now you hit the fence on the way out, we got a problem. But if you couldn't even make it to the fence, stick with the Cobalt.
Getting bigger, hit the gas.
What?
The wall is getting bigger, hit the gas.
Okay, not all.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, even the next, I think the next car I drove was the Raptor, and you're like, "Are you okay with this?" I was like, "Yes." I was like,
you won't know. It's the same thing with RaptorStrike. When I wanted to open it as a shop, the main thing was I don't know if I'll be successful if I don't try. I tried, and unfortunately I wasn't successful with it. But life lessons, and it is what it is at that point.
Sal, core memory go
Core memory?
of us. Something that just sticks out to you. Damn, he doesn't like us.
Raptors on the Ranch.
Raptors
That
on the Ranch.
has to be probably the most recent one that I can remember.
He's cheating. He's using my memory. Get out of my head.
Get out of my head.
Can I borrow your homework? Okay, just change it.
Just change it a little.
Nah, it's just a copy.
We're closing in on our 2-hour mark. I want to go back and thank our sponsor for this episode, CV Fabrication. We've worked with them for many years now. They supported Gwen before people even knew who I was or what RaptorStrike was. Actually, before RaptorStrike was a thing. They were a smaller company back then, and when I got in touch with them about the Raptor, it was I'm going to say it was more so paying it forward, because their response was, you supported us when we weren't that big. Now we're going to, we'll support you on your endeavors. And we really appreciate that. The big things that I stand behind for any company is the customer service, the very personable, accounts where you can actually talk to them or ask them questions and they're okay with you asking questions, and the quality of the products. I mean, for the price point and everything else, you can't find better, at least in my opinion. But the main thing, huge shout out to CV Fabrication for working with us. Again, you can use our website, the link from our website, to go shopping if you'd like, if you have any EcoBoost vehicle, and use promo code RaptorStrike for 5% off your order. We do appreciate everyone that tuned in and everyone that's watching this in the future. We can't do this without y'all, especially all of our supporters. Joey?
Yes. Dang.
You gonna say something?
I was going to do the yes thing, but as soon as I said it, you were like, Joey. I was like, dang.
My bad. You leaned in, so I thought you were going to say something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And on that note, everyone remember to be cool and stay humble. Thank you.